it's Tanya, and this is my first Traveller's Notebook process share, so it is perhaps not quite as good as it might be, because it was surprisingly hard once I turned the camera on. Scrapbook layouts I'm very familiar with, and it's easy to do with, while you're recording. This bit of a learning curve. What I have found, because I've done a couple of spreads already, is that I like to place my photographs right up at the edge of the pages. I also like to do a 2-page spread in one go, because I find that then becomes much more cohesive. Even if it's 2 separate days, not like with this one, but if it's 2 separate days, I like to wait until I have the photographs for both days, and then I do the 2-page spread in one, which was a very long-winded way to explain what I am doing. This is a spread for my mum, because it was her birthday the other day, and they came round, and we had supper, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I have taken, what I'm using here is product from the July Hip Kits, and I get the Pocket Life Project Life kit as well. So I've taken the 3x4 cards, and oh yes, that very pretty flowery paper that I used in the beginning, that was some of the wrapping paper that I wrapped the present in for my mum. So I figured I could bring that in just as a little reminder, because it's really pretty paper, and it was serendipitous or happen chance or just darn good luck that the colours of the wrapping paper go really well with the colours that are in the July kits. And those are exclusive die cuts that were designed by Kim Watson for the kits. And I didn't like I tried that in Joy, because obviously that ties in with the theme of birthdays, etc., but it was too big, which is why I sort of tried it around the page and then decided no. And I battle with banners like that. I don't know why. I do, so that's why I cut the flaggy bits off and decided it looked pretty good on the right hand side there. What I also like to do is to keep a reasonable amount of space open for my journaling. You will see later on where I've written and everything. So it really is just a matter of taking little bits and deciding where to put them. And I do several blupses during this entire process, which is relatively typical, and I show ways to rescue myself from my madness. That is some washi tape, and it tied in so nicely with the wrapping paper, so I put it on the bottom right and the top left to even it out, and just to add some color, because all I'm really doing is making, essentially what you're doing is making embellishment clusters, aren't you, in a couple of places around the page. And it's the way to get a cohesive design is using color, I guess. I'm no expert on design, so I'm waffling a little bit here. But what I am very instinctual when I scrap, or as in this case doing one of these spreads, I basically move stuff around until it looks right to me. And those little word stickers, phrase stickers are gorgeous. They are, I think they're Simple Stories. They came in a previous kit, or from my stash. I can't remember where I got them from, but they're perfect for this kind of project, because it just adds in a little bit of interest, and you can tie in the phrases with your theme. That's why I'm doing some more of them, because I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, I made that little tag from it's a bit of offcut from a frame to put in. That's the other nice thing. I know I'm stumbling over my words, I'm sorry. I really should have perhaps thought a little bit more before I turned the recorder on. The nice thing about this kind of scrapbooking, because it is scrapbooking, is that you use up little bits. Because the size is that much smaller than a 12 by 12 page, or even an 8.5 by 11, you don't need massive elements. Oh, and yes, it took me a very long time to get that silly star clip on the page. And I see I'm still trying, and eventually I get it on. Thank goodness for that. I don't know what it is with these clips. Oh, and then I somehow managed to get a dirty mark on the page. I think I had glue on my fingers or something, and it just didn't look nice, and now I'm trying to think of a way to cover that up. And it gets very hairy for a while, because now the paper, if you've watched my previous video on this, I make my own books, and the paper I use it's beautiful paper, but when you stick something down, it really stays stuck, and when you try and pull it off, it just is a disaster, as you will see here. So now I'm thinking, what am I gonna do? And I just figure, okay, all I can do is just cover it up with some more white paper. You don't really see it in the end. Look, it's not ideal, but it was a solution that, well, it is a solution I can live with. I'm not too phased if things don't, look quite right. And I liked that. Having said I battle with banners, I actually like that banner at the bottom there. And then we have the epic moving of the cupcake, because it says how sweet it is, and then I realized, ooh, I've got some sweet stuff on those puffy stickers, so I figured I would add that in. And just cutting off the edge there. Now the cupcake goes all around the page. The reason why I'm battling to find a spot for it is because it's actually quite a large element, and yeah, up there at the top next to my mum's head, it just didn't look right, and then there it doesn't look right because it's too big, and the poor heart also travels all over the show as well. Shame, poor little thing back there. And I'm still trying to find a spot for it. I do in the end, actually, but we come back to that. So there you see, now I've done my journaling. I just wrote about the day and blah and what we did, and then I figured those little circular things, they kind of look like balloons, and it added in a bit of colour from the colour scheme. So I thought, that's okay. See, the cupcake's back again, yay! And actually I like it there, because now it's balancing out the ice cream cone on the left hand side, and and then you got the sweet thing on the right hand side. And the reason why I put that arrow there is because once I put the date on top of that washi tape strip, it looked a bit empty. It needed something. And then I decided to be ever so artistic and colour in the arrow because it was too white, and then I end up with paint on the photograph, and it was just a bit of a painting disaster. Lesson learnt, Tanya, paint your stuff before you put it on the page. And then I thought, ooh, it's looking a bit empty at the bottom here, let me do a little bit of watercolour, because I mean, we've all seen Amy Tangerine do this, and isn't she an expert at it? Not like me. So now I'm really enjoying myself with the watercolouring, and then I look at it and I think, ew, I don't like it. So then I decide to just watercolour everything. Yep. Watch, squeeze some water in there, squeeze a bit more water, and I go for it. And another lesson learned here. If you draw lines with a pencil and then write and then watercolor over it and then take an eraser and rub the lines away, it's a disaster. Because yes, the paper's wet and it rubs most of your words away. You might see there a little bit with the bottom words. But there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know if you'd like to see some more. It was fun, and again, learning curve. So thanks, and we'll chat again soon. Bye.